All right, y'all. So this right here is basically going to be an example of a loss that I took today. I just took this loss not too long ago, but this is going to be an example of why understanding structure is important and how one little mistake can cause a lose, a losing trade. My bad. So let's break it down because it's very simple. It's very simple because I trade very simple, so my breakdowns are going to be even more simple. And this is a good thing about trading simple is that you can already know your mistakes. You already know your mistakes because it's either one of these three things that you're fucking up in. So it's easy to call them out. So first thing first, let's understand structure. So if I look at this, so let me delete this. And this is actually the trade that I took, but let's delete this. Okay, so right here on the 15-minute, what are we looking like? We're looking bullish, right? So at this point, I said, oh, we're bullish. Okay, so boom, we're bullish on the 15-minute. And then I see we have a demand zone right here. So then I say we're bullish right here with the demand zone right here as well. So then the demand zone was valid. And then also right here, once I saw that we closed or we were rejecting off of this pretty good, that's when I entered off of this trade right here. Now, what is wrong with this? I want y'all guys to just take a minute to understand what is wrong with this. Okay. Now, the main thing that is wrong with this is that structure on the 5 minute is not bullish. It's actually bearish. Okay. And this can happen a lot of the times where on the lower time frame you're bullish, and then on the higher time frame you're bullish, but on the lower time frame you're bearish. So you might think, well, which one do I go with? And the answer will always be the lower time frame because if there's going to be a change of character, you got to think about it. It's always going to happen on the lower time frame before it happens on the higher time frame. So right now, obviously, we are bearish now, as you can obviously tell. But where did that start? It started on the lower time frame, and it started right here. So we had this low, we had this high, we had this low. And then this right here is a valid demand zone because this candlestick causes impulse move up, causing a break of structure. So we already have a valid demand zone right here. But what happens? We have a change of character right here because we closed below it. So this right here is a change of character, and this is exactly where the change of character started at. But I didn't peep that. I was thinking that, oh yeah, we broke this, but it still has an opportunity to reject off of this 15-minute demand zone. Right there, I'm fucking up because I'm going with the higher time frame instead of the lower time frame first. And it's always important to go with the higher time frame, I mean the lower time frame before you go with the higher time frame because it's going to happen, like a change of character is going to happen on a lower time frame before it happens on a higher time frame. And then right here is an example. So once it broke this is where I should have deleted this and start looking for opportunities to the downside. Okay, but that's not what I did. What I did was I waited for a rejection, and this actually gave me a good rejection, and then I entered right around here. So this is already fucked up. And then once we tapped into here, this was giving me all the indications that this didn't want to continue to go higher and it wanted to reject. But I stayed in this trade because I was like, nah, this is it. This is the right trade, whatever. And what it ended up doing ended up rejecting and stopping me out. So what is going to be the best way to look at this? The better way and the way that would have been better and that should have played out would have been something like this. So let me actually go back in time so you guys can see. So it should have been something like this. Once we had this demand zone break right here, now I delete this and I delete this as well. And then now we have this valid supply zone. So once I delete all of this demand zone right here, this demand zone right here, look at how clear this looks. It looks like a perfect opportunity for puts. So now all I'd have to do is wait for this to tap into this zone, give me a good rejection. So let's wait. So even something like this would have been a good rejection, a decent rejection. So, or even something like this, but let's just go with like this right here. We can use this right there. So something as simple as that. Boom. You see? So this right here would have been the ideal situation, and this is exactly what I look for when I trade. But as you can tell, I obviously made a mistake right here, not understanding structure. And this is why understanding structure is the most important thing when it comes to trading. And this is why it's number one. So as you can see right here, this is why understanding structure, market structure, is number one. Because if you don't understand structure, it can fuck up your whole trade. So you might say, well, like I said, the 15-minute is bullish, the 5-minute had a change of character. So does that mean every time do we have to go off of what the 5-minute is going instead of the 15-minute? No, but what I would say is that that is ideal. Every single situation is different, so I'm not going to tell you what to look for every single trade, but that this right here is exactly the ideal setup for a trade. We have structure to the upside, right? As you can see, we have the low right here. We have a change of character. That's the low. And then we have a change of character. We shoot back up into a valid supply zone. We get a good rejection. And then boom, we get taken to the downside. That right there is the ideal trade because number one, what are we looking for? Structure, market structure. Once we've identified that because we had a change of character, then we got that out the way. So we can check that off right over here. So we can check that off. And then we have a valid supply zone right here because this candlestick caused that change of character, so that's valid as well. And then we have the entry. This gave us so many good opportunities for entries just because the way it rejected. So boom, right there. But what fucked it up for me? What fucked it up? Let's be real. Structure, not understanding structure. That fucked everything up. Because right here, I understood structure on the 15-minute, but structure on the 5-minute said something different. It was like, hey, we're bullish now. We're not bearish. I mean, we're bearish now. We're no longer bullish. We were shifting. But instead of going with what the market was telling me, I was trying to go against it and trying to force this trade right here off of this zone. Well, actually off of this 15-minute zone right here. And although we got that rejection that we wanted, one thing was missing, was structure. It was structure. That's the main thing that was missing. It was structure. It was mainly structure because right here, as you can see, we had a shift. We tapped in, we rejected. But what happened? Structure wasn't on our side. So everything was checked off except this. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like when you have three things that you're looking for when it comes to trading and you take a loss, it's going to be very apparent what you fucked up in. Right here, I obviously fucked up in structure. Now, if everything was correct and I just took a loss, then I just took a loss. But right here, obviously what was wrong? Structure. We had a change of character, we came back up, and then we ended up dropping. So this right here was the start of that change of character. This right here. Because now, as you can see on the higher time frame, what are we? We're bearish now. But that all started on the lower time frame. So this is why understanding structures is very important. Right here, one little mistake, like not understanding structure, caused me to take a loss. Now, it was only a $40 loss, which is not bad at all. Mind you, the max that I'm willing to lose is $50, so that's still under the $50 range, which is pretty good. But what I would say is that this could have been avoided if I would have understood structure properly. Now, yes, this is gonna happen out, all the time. This is gonna happen occasionally, but if it keeps happening, then it becomes a problem. It happened today, and I learned from it, and I move on. But if it keeps happening, like I said, it becomes a problem. But this is why, like I said, I love trading only using three things because it's so easy to understand where you fucked up in. Right here, it's so easy. I already know what I fucked up on, structure. So I'm going to be more focused on structure and take this as a lesson. But if I'm trading a lot of things like indicators and all this other bullshit, then a lot of the times I won't even know where I went wrong. Because I'm looking for so many things and like 5 things could be right, but 2 little things could be wrong, but I'm looking at everything is wrong. So that's why it's very important to just keep it very simple and straightforward to the point. Another thing that I would say is like whenever something like this happens, whenever this is invalidated, delete the zone because I'm not going to lie, I kept this zone up and it did kind of fuck my head up because now I'm thinking, okay, now we still have an opportunity to reject off of here. But if I would have deleted this, this would have looked so much more clear. So it is what it is. But it's a very good lesson that I took today, a very good lesson that I learned today. So when you're trading this strategy, there's going to be days where stuff like this happens. So if you are learning how to trade this strategy or you do like it, this is going to be a very good lesson for you guys to take in. Understand structure, and not even just that. It could even be supply and demand zone sometimes. Like this could have been an invalid supply zone, and you could have taken it, and it could have just went opposite, right? It could have just ended up shooting up. So that's why I'm saying you have to understand every single thing that you trade: market structure, supply and demand, and entry. Master those three things, and you're gonna get good at understanding this. Another thing is what was the last thing I was gonna say? Another thing is that is, oh yeah, have good risk management. Have good, very good risk management. So right here, like I said, the max I'm willing to risk on any trade is $40. The minimum, the max I'm willing to make is like anywhere from like 100 plus. So that's like the max. Probably this trade probably would have been less because it tapped into here, but yeah, like that. That's the thing. So that's another good example as well. Is that you want to keep a good risk to reward, because like as you obviously saw, this right here, if I would have risked this whole thing, this would have burned my contract out a lot. Like I would have been down like negative probably like $80 or $90, which wouldn't have been good. But because I had a good risk to reward and I understand how much I'm willing to risk on any single trade, then I start to. I have a manual stop. No, not a manual stop loss. I have a technical stop loss. So this was actually like my stop loss right here. So it was right here. So something like this. But I know if it ends up like if we're down here or if we're right here and I'm already at negative 50, then I'm gonna get out. So I have a technical stop, but I will get out before it even hits that technical stop, regardless, because I need to stay along that range. And yeah, I do trade options. But other than that, that is basically it. If you did find any value in this, you already know what to do. Leave a like, comment what you think, and yeah, comment what you think. Like the video, and also subscribe because I will be posting more. If I don't post, it's because I don't trade or haven't thought of any video ideas. But usually, whenever I trade, I like posting my results. So yeah, other than that, that is basically it, and I will see you guys on whenever I trade the next time. So which could be tomorrow, could be the day after, who knows. But other than that, that is it, and I will see you guys.